Welcome, viewer, to our terrifying Tales of Fairground, a trio of horror stories. In the twilight's embrace, an eerie, abandoned fairground whispers secrets of old. The dilapidated attractions and deserted stalls, bathed in the fading light, set the stage for tales of horror that linger in the air, as if waiting to be awakened. Enter the first of these chilling stories, The Laughing Shadow. A narrative that weaves the tale of an innocent clown, whose excitement for his upcoming act blinds him to the dark whispers that shroud his costume. Unbeknownst to him, his attire holds a history as shadowed as the fairground itself. Under the dim glow of backstage lights, the young clown meticulously prepares, his face a canvas of joy. Yet as the silence of the empty seats weighs heavily in the air, a distinct laughter breaks the quiet, a sound both out of place and time, hinting at the unseen audience he's yet to entertain. The laughter, disembodied and eerie, seems to play with the shadows, casting strange dances around the unsuspecting clown. No source for the spectacle could be found, leaving him enveloped in a mystery that danced just beyond the reach of the stage lights. As the laughter grows in intensity, a sense of unease begins to cloak the clown. The once comforting confines of the fairground now seem to conspire against him, as if the joy he sought to bring was being twisted into something far more sinister. The laughter that initially seemed distant and harmless suddenly grew louder, enveloping the young clown in a cacophony of eerie echoes. He spun around, searching for the source, but the empty seats offered no clues. The sound seemed to bounce off the abandoned stalls, creating an unsettling symphony of mirth. Feeling a chill run down his spine, the clown noticed strange shadows beginning to dance around him. Despite the glaring spotlight overhead, these shadows had no source, no body to cast them. They moved with a life of their own, twirling and leaping in the dim light, a macabre dance for an audience of one. As the laughter intensified, the clown's unease blossomed into fear. The shadows seemed to close in, their forms growing more distinct, more menacing. He tried to step back, to escape their reach, but they followed, persistent and taunting. The fairground, once a place of joy, now felt like a trap. Suddenly, he was no longer alone. Ghostly figures materialized around him, their features twisted into grotesque parodies of clowns from a bygone era. They whispered of a curse, a dark legacy tied to the very costume the young clown wore. A curse cast by a disgruntled magician, doomed to repeat its sorrowful tale. In a panic, the clown attempted to strip off the costume to free himself from its grip. But the fabric clung to his skin as if fused, refusing to be shed. The ghostly assembly vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving him in a silence punctuated only by his own labored breaths. He was trapped, bound to perform under their curse, his laughter now a haunting echo through the abandoned fairground. His laughter, now eerie and unending, becomes a signature of the fairground. The once vibrant tones of joy and excitement are replaced by a chilling echo that permeates the night. This transformation marks him not just as a performer, but as a permanent fixture of the haunted fairground, forever entwined with its dark legacy. As the fairground sinks into the twilight, a new story begins to unfold. The Carousel of Screams, a dilapidated relic, stands as a testament to the fair's forgotten joy. It's in this unsettling silence that the second tale finds its voice, introducing another clown, bound by duty to guard the eerie expanse. This guardian of the night, driven by a sense of responsibility, dismisses the supernatural rumors that have long plagued the fair. His investigation of the carousel is driven by logic, attributing the mysterious music and movement to pranks by his fellow clowns. Yet his skepticism is about to be challenged in the most unexpected way. Upon discovering an ornate clown mask resting on one of the carousel horses, a tangible link to the fair's storied past is revealed. The mask, seemingly innocuous, is a key that unlocks the carousel's true nature. With a single touch, the carousel bursts into life, spinning with a fervor that defies the stillness of the night. The laughter of children, long absent from the fairground, fills the air, creating a juxtaposition between the joyous past and the grim present. The clown, caught in the whirlwind of the carousel's magic, finds himself compelled to don the mask, a decision that seals his fate and intertwines his destiny with the spectral children and the carousel's endless cycle. In the dim light of the moon, the clown's curiosity was piqued by an ornate clown mask resting on one of the carousel horses. Its intricate design and faded colors suggested it was from a bygone era, forgotten and left behind, yet it seemed oddly out of place in the desolation. As he reached out and touched the mask, the carousel sprang to life with a jolt. It began spinning rapidly, the old mechanical music playing a haunting melody that echoed through the empty fairground. The sudden animation of the carousel, devoid of any logical explanation, sent a shiver down his spine. Amidst the whirl of colors and the eerie music, ghostly laughter of children filled the air. It was a chilling sound that seemed to come from nowhere, yet it enveloped the entire fairground. The place was deserted, making the laughter all the more unsettling and surreal. Compelled by a force he couldn't understand, the clown placed the mask over his face. The moment it touched his skin, the carousel came to an abrupt halt. The mask, cold and unyielding, seemed to fuse with his flesh, becoming a part of him impossible to remove. The realization dawned on him that the carousel was haunted by the spirits of children who had once found joy here. Now he was trapped, an eternal guardian for these lost souls. The mask, once an object of curiosity, had become his curse, forever altering his fate. As the clown stood on the ancient, creaking carousel, realization dawned on him. The eerie stillness of the fairground seemed to mock his predicament. He understood now that the spirits of children who once filled this place with laughter and joy were eternally bound to this carousel, their laughter forever silenced by some unspeakable tragedy. They were not malevolent, merely longing for the joy they could no longer experience, and in him they sought a guardian. Compelled by a force he could not resist, the clown found his identity merging with the ornate mask. It clung to him, reshaping his very essence. The thought of being forever fused with this artifact of the past terrified him, yet he felt an inexplicable duty to these lost souls. The mask, once an object of beauty and laughter, now symbolized his eternal bond to the carousel and its ghostly inhabitants. Now trapped, the clown accepted his fate as the eternal caretaker of the ghostly children. Day turned into night and seasons changed, yet he remained, a spectral figure bound to the carousel. His once vibrant spirit dimmed, but a resolve to protect and entertain his silent charges grew stronger with each passing day. As the mask took over, transforming his visage into something not entirely human, the clown's old identity faded away. He was no longer a performer, but a sentinel of the supernatural, a bridge between the joyous past and the haunted present. The carousel, once a place of happiness, became his realm, a domain where he watched over the echoes of laughter that once filled the air. The transition to the next story was as sudden as a nightfall. The fairground, with all its cursed attractions, held another secret in its heart, a decrepit mirror maze that had seen better days. The clown's tale was but one thread in the fairground's tapestry of horror, a prelude to yet another chilling saga waiting in the shadows. In the heart of an abandoned fairground lies a decrepit mirror maze, untouched and forgotten for years. It stands as a silent guardian of untold stories, its once gleaming surfaces now dulled by the passage of time. Amidst the eerie quiet, a lone clown steps into the maze, driven by reports of a lost child whispered among the winds. As he ventures deeper, the mirrors begin to play a macabre game of deception. His reflection, once familiar, twists into grotesque versions of himself, each more horrifying than the last. The air grows colder, the path darker, as if the maze itself feeds on his growing fear. Laughter, innocent yet chilling, echoes through the labyrinthine corridors. It seems to come from everywhere and nowhere, a ghostly presence that is always just out of reach. The clown follows the sound, heart pounding, driven by a desperate hope to find the child and escape the oppressive grip of the maze. But the child he finds is not of this world. A spectral figure. She giggles with glee, her eyes shining with mischief and malice. The realization hits him like a cold wave. She is a ghost, cursed to lure unsuspecting victims deeper into the maze's heart. The laughter fades, replaced by a silence more terrifying than any sound. The clown tries to retrace his steps, only to find the paths transformed, shifting under the maze's sinister will. With every turn, the hope of escape diminishes, leaving him to wander the endless corridors, a new prisoner of the maze's ancient curse. In the depths of the mirror maze, the clown's hope of escape dwindled. The once familiar corridors twisted into unrecognizable paths, each turn a deceitful promise of freedom. The mirrored walls seemed alive, reshaping the maze into a labyrinth with no end, a trap set by the maze itself. Panicked, the clown encountered his own reflection, which had taken on a life of its own. It was no longer a mere mimicry, but a manifestation of his darkest fears. The clown faced not just a physical entrapment, but a confrontation with the parts of himself he wished to forget. The realization struck him with chilling clarity. He was not just lost, he was absorbed into the curse of the maze. With every failed attempt to escape, he felt his spirit intertwine more with the maze's essence, becoming a part of its haunting legacy. As the final vestiges of hope faded, the clown's laughter merged with the ethereal giggles of the ghost child. This eerie symphony of despair echoed through the corridors, a testament to the maze's power to consume and corrupt the souls of those who dared to enter. The fairground, once a place of laughter and light, now whispered tales of darkness and doom as it faded into the night. The clown, forever ensnared in the mirror maze, joined the ranks of its ghostly inhabitants, his laughter a haunting melody that lingered long after the dawn. As the final echoes of laughter fade into the still night, the abandoned fairground sinks back into silence, its eerie secrets cloaked in darkness. The haunted tales of clowns and ghostly children become whispers in the wind, lying in wait for the next curious soul to uncover its mysteries. And with this chilling tale concludes our journey for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our tales at the fairground. If you would like to see more of our horror stories, please like and subscribe to our channel to enjoy more terror tales.